Good morning, it's yet another sunny day here in the UK and there are a couple of people knocking about, but not many because it's very early, and they will be soon because the sun's out and it's during the week, so we get a certain demographic out in the sun during the week. We were out here in this same spot about 3-4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. It was warm and it was so busy. It was full of humans, being humans, out in the countryside. And let's talk a little bit about the humans who were out here, being humans in the countryside, in the UK, in the sun. It's terrifying. We were here yesterday afternoon and we stuck mostly to the shade because it was quite warm, and Molly needed walks a little bit. Her legs playing up again a little bit. It is this morning, but she'll be absolutely fine. So we were sticking to the shade and it was lovely. But we were walking very, very slowly. Very slowly. And all the time there were people in front of us and there were people behind us on this very route. And there were a lot of old people. In fact, there weren't just a lot of old people, they were all old people, even older than me, which takes some doing. And even the old people who were walking very slowly were walking faster than us. So they were there behind us about 100 yards, and the next thing you know, they're on top of you with the walking sticks and the walking canes all clattering against the tarmac. And groups of walkers, up to about 40 or 15 number, not necessarily the Ramblers Association, because I don't want to say too much about the Ramblers Association, because I've talked about the Ramblers Association before and I've got grief in the comments about it. But they come to a corner. We're coming up to a corner now shortly in about 100 yards, and we were here yesterday, and as we approached the corner this horde came round the corner in like 4 abreast, like a Roman phalanx, and they just come straight at you, and they're grim and they're determined and they look like they hate being where they are, and they've all got faces like thunder, and they've all got backpacks on and they've got the walking stick clattering on the ground, and they stare at you and you have to get out of the way or you will be trampled under 1,000 orthopaedic boots. And it's the same every time we come out. No, I'm not one for going out in groups. I like being on my own, but a lot of people are. But they come past. And normally, everybody who comes past says hello. Everybody who comes past makes a fuss of Molly, but not the walking groups. They're determined. They're on a mission. They stare at you. You can say hello to them, no one says hello back. And they're just looking. They're looking like they're hating every minute of it. And this is English. This is what the English do. And they're there with the backpacks on. The backpacks have probably got egg sandwiches and flasks of tea and napkins and doilies. I bet they've even got doilies, if everybody knows what doilies are. And they come at you. Dum, 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 dum. The Viking horde coming at you, and they've all got faces like Jacob Marley and that door knocker in A Christmas Carol. And you get out of the way. You have to get out of the way. And we see them all the time. I told you once about I was going somewhere and it was on the canal bank, so we couldn't really get out of the way, and this horde of Ramblers Association people came at me, and they always led, I think the person who organises the walk has to be at the one at the front and nobody can pass them. It's like an unwritten law. And this bloke walked at us and then like waved his stick and shouted, "Out of the way," or something, "Ramblers Association." And I was like, sod you grizzly-eyed toad. Anyway, I did get out of the way because I'm nice and I'm English and it's what we do. We get out of the way, and I apologise. I think I probably apologised for getting in his way, for being an inconvenience. Anyway, so we did. And yesterday, and like Molly was looking at these people as if to say, why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't you giving me treats? Where's my biscuit? And that was it. And that was our first encounter with human beings in the wild, in the countryside. But it doesn't end there. Then we continue walking very, very slowly like we do, but we don't mind because we're at the edge of these beautiful fields like we are now. And we can hear the birds in the trees just like we can now. And this is an area where we usually hear the woodpecker. And I heard the cuckoo a couple of days ago. And it's beautiful. And the path stretches out in front of us. And it's gorgeous. And I look over my shoulder, I notice two old people in the distance. And I look over my shoulder again a few seconds later and they're catching us up and they're walking slowly. So what speed must we be walking? And then eventually they catch us up. And it's an old lady and an old man and they make a real fuss out of Molly. They've got no treats, but they just make a fuss out of her. And we talk about the weather, and then we talk about the countryside, then we talk about the weather, and then we talk about young people, and then we talk about the weather, and then we talk some more. And then the man starts getting a bit edgy and a bit tetchy. He wants to move on because he probably wants to get home to watch the snooker or the darts or the Crown Green Bowls, or he probably wants to go to the pub, or he wants his bacon and egg, or he wants to just sit in the chair and do whatever he wants to do and stick cotton wool in his ears so that his wife's not talking to him about the weather and young people and snooker and young people. And they go and we're on our own again. And all goes quiet. And the sun is still high in the sky and it's warm. And I'm looking for a place in the shade at the side of the path where we can sit in the grass, because this is what we do. We walk for a bit and then we sit in the grass and give Molly a rest, and she's happy with that. Because we didn't have a pram with us actually. I've got it today so you can probably hear it rattling away, and I do apologise about that, but it is actually necessary because her leg's a little bit iffy this morning. But then we walk quite close to where we are now and we find a patch of grass. It's obviously somebody's already used it for sitting down because it's flattened out and it's against a dry stone wall. We can sit there, so we sit there and it's nice and it's peaceful and it's quiet and we're just looking at the countryside around us. Molly's sniffing, Molly's lying in the grass, and all is good with the world. And then in the distance we see two old lads coming up in the distance, and they're always the same shape. They're as wide as they are tall, and there's always two, never three or four or one. There's always two, and these two are probably mates from decades and decades ago, half a century ago, mates all their lives, and they're always dressed the same. They're rebels, these two old blokes. They wear really faded old t-shirts, usually blue, that are all a bit belled out at the waist where they've been tugged at and washed badly. And they wear shorts, and always these cargo shorts, and they're crumpled, and they've got about 17 pockets. And then they're either wearing sandals and socks, or trainers and socks, or even leather shoes and socks. And they're always the same, and they've always got a smile, and they've always got a big welcome for Molly, and I love them. They're the funniest people going. They're always joking and laughing, and it's like they're freed, and you think, what kind of life? Are you widows? Are you divorced? What are you? But whenever you're out here, you're happy, lovely, smiling. They've not got a dog with them, but they've always got a pocket full of treats for Molly. And it really does my heart good, and they've got all the time in the world to talk to you. They'll stand and talk and laugh and reminisce, and it doesn't matter, even if you wanted to be on your own, even if you come out to be on your own, you don't mind, because these two are the bloody salt of the earth, and they make you laugh and they make you smile, and they make you look forward to being an old crock like me. Old lads, two old lads, brilliant, salt of the earth, in the dirty old t-shirts and the crumpled old cargo pants and the leather shoes with socks. God bless them. And there, ladies and gentlemen, are the people we meet in the countryside while we're out. In the morning, it's a different demographic. In the morning, you get the dog walkers, the pre-work joggers, the younger people, the people in a hurry, the people not quite as comfortable in the skin, the people with an agenda, the people on the go, the people starting the day. And then in the afternoon, when everyone's at work, we get the old people. We get the crowds of walkers with their faces grim and determined and set on where they're going for the next tea break. And we get the old couples with the pow-fagged husband and the determined wife who always seems to be running the show. But am I being a bit unfair? And then we get the wonderful old lads, the two old lads in the t-shirts that the wife probably tried to throw out a dozen times, but they keep fishing it out of the bin. And I know because I've been there. And I love it, and I love them. It's great. You get out in the countryside, it's not just the scenery, not just this around us that we can see now and that we're heading into and that we're going to be out in for the next couple of hours, and it's going to be absolutely wonderful. I'm going to sit and Molly's going to sit and we're just going to appreciate this. It's not just this, it's the people you meet. And it's like people watching, because every one of them is funny. Every one of them you can take the mick out of. Every one of them has got something. And I'm the same. I will be the same to them. And we can all look at each other and make fun of each other and appreciate each other. And I love it. And aren't people great? We shall see you on the flip. Peace and love.